Namaste. I am so glad to be with you for another edition of Live, Love, Engage. And I want to welcome those of you listening on your favorite podcast platform and those of you joining me live right now from Facebook and YouTube. I'm so glad you're here. And oh, goodness, as I'm recording this, it is the end of 2022. We're just a couple days away from a new year. And I thought that this would be a perfect time since this is going to be actually on the podcast platform. It will be the first episode of the new year. It's going to be dropping on January 2nd, 2023. I thought this was a perfect time to do some reflections, look back at the past year and also going forward and talking about a new year and perhaps some new choices that you might want to make. And there's certainly some new choices that I am making for the new year. So it's, I think this time of year is a perfect time to spend time reflecting, evaluating how the past year went, how you showed up, how I showed up, how you showed up in life, and decide how you want to be going forward. Because whether it's a new year, it doesn't really even matter. Every day is a new day where we get to start over. We have a new chance to just do things differently because the past is gone already. Yesterday's gone. And this is our opportunity to be able to say, okay, who do I want to be today? How do I want to show up in the world? What do I want to do? And we can do that any day. But of course, when we have a new year upon us, it's there's much more attention spent on that. You see people, all over the place talking about reflecting on the past year and predictions for the coming year. And then some people make resolutions for the new year, and then come February, they've broken several of them already. I don't do I've never been one to do New Year's resolutions. I do something, however, that I do intend to do this weekend, which is to create a a manifested board, which is similar to what people call a vision board. But I do like to do that at the year because really coming up with pictures and symbols for things that I would like to have happen over the coming year is a really good practice. And sometimes even if you can certainly, I think visualizing is really great, and I have one up in my office here I've got from this past years. And I was actually looking over it just recently and going, yeah, pretty much did all those things. Because like one of the pictures is of like a group of women sitting in a circle, and then the other center picture is from when I attended a retreat. And so both of those things have essentially come true this year. In September of this past year, I held my first ever women's retreat, and which was a wonderful celebration. And I've also recently, over the last few months, I started an organization. I call it the Soulful Women's Network. And we've been meeting, we met online twice in October and November. And we're also going to be, and then we met in person here in the Central Florida area and on in December. Yeah. Oh yeah. It was only a couple of weeks ago. Hello. There we go. In fact, there's a banner if you want. We have a Facebook group. And so you can go, if you search for Soulful Women's Network, you can join the group. And it's really, I started this group with the intention of having it be inclusive to women of all stages in their life. So, because there's a lot of like, I've belonged to a lot of even entrepreneurial type groups because that's been what I've been doing for the last 13, 14 years now, is running my own business. And that's great, but I wanted this to be also for women who maybe aren't in business for themselves. Maybe they have an employer, or maybe they're retired. Uh, they're looking to come up with some ideas to do their next stage in life, write their next chapter. So that's something that I've been working on. And so 2022 was um, a lot of new things for me to do. It really has been. I don't know about, I'd love to know for the rest of you out there listening, definitely reach out to me. You can reach out to me on social media, um, Instagram, or you can send, or Facebook at Gloria Grace Rand. You can send a message to me, or uh, or even go directly to my website, gloriarand.com. There's a little box there where you can reach out, because I'd love to hear from you. Because as I said, it's been this year was a lot of new things. I separated from my husband this year, and I moved into an apartment, and I've made a bunch of new friends, which has been amazing. I've continued to be doing this podcast this past year, and I've also met some amazing people and had tremendous guests on the show. And next year there's going to be more of the same, because I've been already have quite a few episodes that are in the can, as they say. And you're going to want to, if you're not subscribed already, make sure that you are subscribed, uh, either on YouTube or on your favorite face podcast platform, because yeah, there's a lot of good stuff coming up. And how I've been showing up this year is another thing, is that with the new changes, sometimes it's been a little rocky. I won't lie to you and say everything's been perfect and roses. It's life. Life has hills and valleys, and I've had experienced some of that as well. But there's also been a lot of great stuff. I've been able to share light language with people. I've been doing that on these solo episodes with you, and it's really great. And so now going forward into the new year, I think for me personally, uh, there's going to be a lot of the same. I'm still looking at, still living in this apartment, enjoying it with my lovely cats. And I am working on another book, that's going, so, but we'll see how that goes. And um, but I'm also gonna be making a change a little bit. I'm still trying to figure out how to navigate this, just because of the way social media works. Um, but and actually, it's sort of interesting. I'm gonna show you, for those of you watching on YouTube, those of you listening, you won't see this, but I got this lovely mug for my birthday, and it says on it, "Amazing Grace." And I was recently, a friend of mine does some channeling work, and I was having a session with her. And the message that came through for me was that uh, my name, like Gloria was the past, and Grace is the future. So I intend to start going by Grace starting in 2023. But again, I'll probably you'll still see my name as Gloria Gloria Grace Rand listed in different places, and probably still be that way on much of social media, because Grace Rand has already been taken on Instagram, for instance. Um, so I'll probably still keep Gloria Grace Rand, but I think with friends and even with clients now, I just will start inviting them to call me Grace instead of Gloria. And it's a great name my mom gave me, and I wanna use it because I think it really reflects who this new chapter of my life more fully in the coming year. So, as you spend some time right now looking back on the past year and looking forward and trying to decide how you want to be and how you want to show up, you may not be sure. And I've certainly had episodes in the past of like, yeah, I'm not quite sure. And what do I do? So what can you do if you're not quite sure how you want to show up in the new year or just today or tomorrow? So my tried and true recipe for this is to encourage you to spend some quiet time and explore this. And so, what that can look like, it's different things for different people, but it could be perhaps you go outside, weather permitting, depending on where you are in the world. But hey, even if it's a cold and snowy day outside, you maybe you really like the cold and the snow, so go outside, breathe in that crisp, fresh air, and really just be quiet and connect with your higher self and ask yourself, how do I want to be? What does that look like for me? What can I do differently? How can I show up in a way that is really in alignment with my higher self and that projects uh, an expression of love and light in the world? And see what comes up for you. It may be that maybe you like to journal, so maybe spend some time. Could maybe do every day for a week or so, and just kind of ask yourself this question, journal about it, and say what what does it look like for me? What can I do? And of course, meditate or pray, because that's when you really are just being still and to be quiet. And again, just ask your higher self, ask God, source, the universe, whatever you believe in, for some direction on your life. And then be still and know. Just be still and allow something to come up. And it may not come up right away. I will tell you that too, because sometimes we're so expectant of it. And then we get disappointed because the answer doesn't come right away. So what I would tell you in that circumstance is if something doesn't come up and just relax about it, don't try to force it. And then just go about your day and see if a sign may come to you in a different way. Maybe you turn on the television or you turn on a radio and some message comes through that it's like, "Oh, oh, there we go." Or you see a billboard when you're outside, or maybe you simply see a butterfly, and maybe that just strikes something in you that you're like, "Hmm," and all of a sudden, this inspiration will hit. Because I find that it does. Maybe take a shower. I think I talked about this in the last episode that I did, my solo episode, when I talked about going with the flow of life. And I talked about how a lot of times when I take a shower, that's when like inspiration will strike me if it doesn't happen while I'm meditating. So try some of those ideas. And if you're ever stuck and need someone to talk to, you know, reach out. If you have a coach or you have a good friend, reach out to them. And you're also always welcome to reach out to me as well. If you go to engagewithgloria.com, that page, it takes you right to my calendar on my website, and you can set up an appointment, a chance to talk with me, because I would love to be able to help you in whatever way I can. So always know that you can reach out to me. Engage, Engage with Gloria, Gloria.com. Hmm. Oh, I might have to see if there's a domain available that says engage with grace, huh? I might have to look at that. Yeah. Oh goodness. See, it's complicated when you decide you want to change your name. There's a lot going on about that, but you know what? Here's the thing, a little at a time. That's all you have to do with anything in life is just take baby steps. You don't have to accomplish everything all at once. That's the beauty of it. So All right. This point of the broadcast, I always love to share with you a daily word message from Unity that relates to our topic. And so, of course, I was searching daily word and I found one from January 1st of 1961. I wasn't even around yet. So this is an oldie. And the affirmation says, I enter this year in a new and living way. And the reading starts off. I enter this year with a joyous, dedicated spirit. I enter this year with an open, receptive mind, a mind obedient to divine inspiration. I enter this year with a new understanding of my body, its creation, and its ability to renew and perfect itself. I enter this year with a new concept of prosperity and of the part I play in letting divine ideas and creative energy express and produce through me. I enter this year with a new love and respect for the people in my immediate family, in my business world, in my social world, and in the world I know only through the eyes, ears, words, and interpretation of others. I enter this year free from old concepts, old thoughts, old conditions. I enter this new year unfettered, unbound. I walk in faith, in light, in life, in plenty, and in peace. I walk a new and living way. I walk with God. And then there's a scripture reading from Hebrews 10:19 and 20. Enter by the way which he dedicated for us, a new and living way. So I hope that you will set the intention to enter this year in a new and living way. And really, as it said at the very beginning, the first thing, with a joyous, dedicated spirit, an open mind, um, a new understanding, new concepts of prosperity, and new love and respect for people. Oh, that's a big one. There's been a lot of disrespect for people in the world in the last few years, and I think it's high time that each one of us, I know if you are listening to this podcast, that you are someone who really does believe in the power of love, because you wouldn't be attracted to this at all. So if you can start just showing love and respect for the people near you, and then as those people see that, then they will very possibly be encouraged to show love and respect for the people near them. And we create this ripple effect, and we can start spreading more light and love in the world. And that will be a good thing. So before I end this episode today, I would love to share a light language message with you today. And I think what I'll do is let's set the intention that the message that comes through today will be what your soul needs to hear to enter today and every day in a new and living way, and to be able to be that light in the world. So that's the intention I'm going to set for you today, and I'm asking my guides, my angels, my archangels to share that. And of course, if you are listening to this, if you are driving, I encourage you to pause this and come back to it later when you can sit down and listen and really absorb the message, and really let it speak to your soul, because ultimately light language is a message of love. And that's what I intend for you to receive today, for you to receive some love. Akulyon kika he, hanyoko he, hanyoko ita e tsuchi. 足をほかほう、あの横へはし、おしおこふかほえ、あにのこへあちふ。Asiko ye kasi o tua ayo tu shia. O koya takisha koreana kiata. He sakusha koreana koya pani kariato de anakia. He tano yo koya takiata shika de no koya pata. He koyo shi ni no koyata shika. Okiko tsinake hasakuyati Ohokiga hoshiryoe Oshikaye kata totorianaye Akahoshiohoye O shano yanaki He koshokoyo no kuyata ti shukuryo no korea manna kariata. He sakonyo no na kriyata shikariata. He sakoryo to kuria pati kali no kuyata shi. O kuka ho ako ki ho ano ye. O ke ka sa yoku ha. Ekoyatom asikoko ahehoyatu. Atotun shakonia tate halmorion no koreabata kiatashi katea okoshikatea takia hokanya no koreabata hesakashikoria kiatotea honaki hokorianate hoshakatiata. Well, thank you for being with me again today, and thank you for being with me this whole year. If you're someone who's been watching or listening this whole year, thank you, thank you, thank you. I am so grateful for you to be here. And I want to wish all of you, every single one of you who is out there, a joyous and happy and prosperous and awesome, wonderful year. Happy New Year. Happy 2023. I feel it's going to be an exciting year, probably one full of lots of changes and, highs and lows and all that good stuff. And my advice is take it one day at a time, one day at a time, and just live your best life today in a new and living way. And don't worry about tomorrow. Today is all we got right now. So concentrate on making today the best day ever. As one of my mentors says that, make it the best day ever. So, I encourage you to do that, and also to share this with a friend if you enjoyed it. And until next time, as always, I always like to say, encourage you to go out and, in addition to having a happy new year, I want you to live fully, love deeply, and engage authentically.